And there are men in the box, and it comes for Pablo Hernandez, and Pablo Hernandez scores a goal for Leeds United! Oh! Goal, a goal, a goal! Yeboah. On he goes! Oh! Even by his standards. Breathtakingly brilliant.
Hang on a minute, here's Nelson, can he win it? Yes he can! Leeds United are on their way to Wembley! Johnny Howson again!
And the ball's over Brown, and this is Beckford, he just ran away from him, but he'll still get a strike in on goal, and score at the Stretford end for Leeds United, and it doesn't get any better than that for a Leeds centre-forward.
Good ball, Becchio well placed! Leeds United draw level on aggregate!
Well, the roof has just been lifted off Elland Road. What an incredible noise we are witnessing here.
Well, hello everybody, you're very welcome back to LeedsBros for Talking Points, and we have a lot to get into tonight, guys. I have rewatched the match about 4 times today, and we've loads of steel and loads of photographs to show you of what went wrong with Leeds United performance yesterday after losing 2-1 to Aston Villa, 3 defeats on the bounce, 8 goals conceded, and very similar goals. It does have to be said. You're joined here by myself, Darren, and my brother Dylan as we break it all down. So please don't, if you don't mind, please drop a like on the video and, of course, hit that subscribe button as well. Get your comments in as well, guys, because a load of debate's going to be coming up here again tonight. So let's make it a good one. Dillo, how are you feeling? I have to say I'm still emotional after yesterday.
Numb. No, you could use that word, couldn't you? Numb. I'm just like, yeah, literally. Just, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I'm at the point now where I just have pain. Afraid what to say here in case I get demonetized. I've just, honestly, gone to bed and it's the last thing on your mind and it's the first thing you do when you wake up. And I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
But it's more to the point of the meltdowns, the people defending Farke, people that have, just coming out with ludicrous statements, ludicrous whatever. And
Twitter was an absolute cesspit yesterday. After we did our match reaction, I went on Twitter last night and, like, my God, like, some of the takes were like just mental, and obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion and all, but like there's still some people there that, want Farke in a job, and look, it is what it is, Dylan. Look at what can we do? We're in a really rocky road at the moment, a really tough situation with really hard fixtures coming up, and all we can do is just stick together as a fan base. We all have different opinions, and we all think this should be done and that should be done, and sack the manager and keep the manager and play the system or play that system. And ultimately, it's not down to us, so we were just going to have to trust the 49ers and Farke to somehow try and turn it around, or if they decide to get rid of Farke, whatever new manager comes in, and trust that they get it right. But at the minute, it's not good, Dylan, and we have a lot of graphs to go through here and a lot of stills to go through here of the same stuff that we're seeing week in and week out from Leeds United. That's leading the goals from that left-hand side, not picking up the runners, not picking up the markers, losing concentration, all that sort of stuff as well. And if we can pick it up, and us two Irish ticks here, if we can pick it up and we can see it, you better bet your bottom dollar that opposition players and managers and staff and all that can see what's gone wrong at Leeds United and how it's very easy to get through to us on what our weak point is as well. Dylan, we'll say hello to a couple of people in the bill, and the comments are flying in there. Danny says, smash a like and subscribe. Please do that, guys. That would be fantastic. Russ said, good evening, gents. Evening, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. Evening says, Rusty Tin Can. How are you, Eddie? Hope you're keeping well, brother. Cheers for popping. I love no bother at all, Danny. Dylan, I think we'll dive straight into it. So we obviously gave our thoughts on the starting lineup yesterday. In our match reaction, we obviously said we were hoping to see a little bit more of a shake-up from Daniel Farke. We didn't get that, and I think it's a massive debate to start lineup. But I think we'll get into Leeds United's first goal with Anton Stack here, and we'll break it all down. So, look, I think we have to take some good from it and some positives. It wasn't the worst performance from Leeds United yesterday. We did do a lot of things well and obviously a lot of things wrong. But here, Dylan, from Anton Stack, it's what I have there in the caption in the bottom right-hand corner. I think the bravery for Anton Stack there does have to be acknowledged. He knows he's going to get clattered by Emi Martinez. He goes in, he wins the header. He's actually very unlucky not to score the goal as well. And now we know he's probably going to be missing Dylan for the City game, possibly the Chelsea game, I think, as well. I have to look into it. But he was very brave in that situation. So you do have to give plaudits to Anton Stack there.
It's what it means, Darren, to wear the white shirt. And, you know, plaudits go to Stack because he's kind of been up and down, you know, performance-wise. You know, he hit the ground running when he... in the pre-season game, and then obviously when we came into the first 2 games in the Premier League, it just looked like that kind of statement signing, if that's what you want to say. He dropped off a little bit. Obviously comes back in, you know, we see in the video of him the day in the life of Anton Stack, so we got to know him a bit more. You know, it was great to see that sort of side of it. And then he goes and puts his body on the line for that sort of stuff. It's great to see for
he looked
player,
decent yesterday. I have to say, Dylan, he looked decent yesterday from the few minutes that he was on. Like he looked well. The next slide here shows the proper bang that he gets here. So obviously still is. But if you see Emi Martinez left leg, Dylan, it's right into the side of Anton Stack, and that's actually what makes him fall. So look at, I don't know, I'm no expert, lads, but to me, he's kicking into one. I know keepers, and might have a couple of keepers in the chat or a couple of keepers watching this, you usually come out with your knee high to protect yourself, but that's your leg out. His leg is right into the side of Anton Stack, which obviously makes him flip over. And the next still you see here, he was a very lucky boy, Dylan, straight down on the back of his neck. No wonder he had, and he was actually very unlucky, Dylan, to not be credited with the goal. Ezri Konsa on the line just about gets it. We know he tries to clear it, then it hits off Lucas Meche and ends up in the back of the net, Dylan. But we have to pick some positives from it. That's all from Anton Stack's bravery to go in and there, put his body on the line, knowing that he was going to get clattered. He did very well there.
From a midfielder as well, Darren. It's just great to see. Like, and you know, when you're watching it live, and when it happens, it's that burst of energy, that burst of excitement. There's, you know, the boys are actually scoring a goal from open play, number 1, and number 2 were the first ones to get a goal. So it kind of gave the boys that motivation, confidence to go, whether to
protect the shop or protect the lead, isn't
exactly.
it? Yeah.
So that's really what kind of stings, because you have to give a plaudit to Anton Stack there for even getting up that to do that. And now obviously he's going to be out again for City, which is
Danny's saying there 10 days is the concussion rule. So yeah, we'll see. I thought it was 1 game, but it was a bad landing. So let's hope he is okay. The way Stack landed was a bit like my backflip in Mallorca. I think you still have concussion from that, Eddie. Come out with the knees tucked in, arms up, and keeper stretch. Yeah, so you're usually, like, I've heard obviously goalkeeping sessions, and I heard you do come out with your knees obviously to protect yourself, and you can't blame Martinez, but his leg is particularly high there, so we kind of wondered. They're obviously checking for the offside, and you know they were checking, was it a foul on Emi Martinez? For me, it was the other way around. It was a foul on Anton Stack. His leg is high, straight into his hip, and that's what makes him flip. So hopefully he's okay. Richard Hogan says, good first half, dropped up in the second half, conceding early was a disaster, and I couldn't agree more, but it was a particularly bad time to concede the equaliser. You're hoping Leeds United to come out in the second half and set up defensively solid for them first 10-15 minutes and, you know, work away into the game. But we came out, I think, very lifeless still in the second half. Whatever happened at half time, the boys came out totally jaded. Nothing like that first half performance, what we seen when we're up and at it. So it was a particularly poor start to the second half. He'll be at home happy as Larry smashing some sessions on Minecraft. He probably will be. Boss Nats. He probably will be. Let's take a look at the Aston Villa equaliser then, guys. And look at this is the clips that's all doing the rounds. And some of you might have seen it on the LeedsBros Twitter earlier on today. So we see Malin there free as a board. So first of all, Unai Emery makes the change at halftime. Aston Villa are 1-0 down. He's ballsy enough to make the change at halftime to see that they're trailing in the game. He brings him on, and he's free as a board, and he's completely unmarked now. What's not shown in this still is Ethan Ampadu was originally picking up Malin, and for whatever reason, he decides to let him go and retreat right back into the 6-yard box for Leeds United. For what reason, I'm not too sure. You know, other coaches might be able to tell you this, but now Okafor then is left with picking up the slack, and he doesn't get there, Dylan. So that's why Malin has so much space in here between Gabby and Malin. So you're thinking there, right? There's 2-on-1. One of them can at least stop the cross coming into the box, and they just don't. It's so lackluster. I don't know what Gabby's doing. He's not breaking a gut to stop the cross coming in. Neither is Okafor as well. Far too much room. And there to the right-hand side there, you see 4 Leeds United players marked in circles. Now, behind the fire one at the back, Pascal Struijk is actually behind us. So there's 5 Leeds United players around Rodgers here, and he still manages to get a touch. And this is what we're seeing.
You've Bogle and Struijk there. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Bogle and Struijk are in that blue circle, the one closest to the goal. So just 5 Leeds United players around Rodgers, and it's exactly like the one, Dylan, that we seen from Gibbs White away from Nottingham Forest when the ball was allowed cross into the box from Hutchinson. This is very similar as well. The cross allowed coming into the box, loads of Leeds United players around him, 5 or 6 players around them, but somehow he still manages to get a touch on the ball. So this is from the other side as well. This is Mallon getting his cross into the box. For me, Okafor has to do a little bit better there. But if you look beyond that, you've Ethan Ampadu, who's anticipating the cross. So Rodgers runs past him, past Bogle and past Strouk to somehow get a lovely little touch on the ball. It has to be said, it's a great finish. But how is he allowed to do that, Dylan? It's just really bad defending. And it's what we've been seeing week after week from Leeds United, is switching off, lapsing concentration, not tracking your man, not tracking your runner, and stopping the original cross coming into the box. It's skill boy defending, Dylan.
So literally, you took the words out of my mouth, skill boy, and I think that's what's frustrating. You know, I'm trying not to lose my head here, because we're trying to be this survival club in the Premier League, and to establish ourselves to be a Premier League team. You go to the board, you go to the transfers, you go to Farke, you go to his tactics. A whole lot of it goes out the window. Yeah. The promotion, the whole lot. If you can't defend that sort of stuff week in, week out, with the same goals in,
the basics,
we shouldn't be in the Premier League. Simple.
Well, if you look at the 3 goals we consider, Brian, all very similar from cutbacks and men free in the box. The 3 that we scored on Nottingham Forest, again, very similar, obviously apart from the penalty. And then again yesterday, another cutback into the box. So what's that? 3, 4, 5 goals conceded out of the last 8 from cutbacks into the box and men being free in the box or unmarked in the box, being able to get a touch on the ball. So for me, Dylan, it's the basics of what Leeds United aren't doing now. It's the basics is the reason why we're conceding goals. And it's poor. After a really, really good first half performance, a battling performance, we dragged Aston Villa down to our level. We're really up and at them. And I was really proud of the boys that we've stepped up after 2 really bad back-to-back away games. We were really up and at it. The second half performance, Dylan, we completely dropped off. So whatever was said in that dressing room at halftime, whatever tactic changed, we completely sat back in and we completely switched off.
You know, even in the first half of the Brighton game, if I'm not mistaken, we just seemed a bit all over the place as well. Now, I know I'm going back here, but when we came
it's
out...
still a collective, though. It's still relevant, Dylan, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And it seems to be a reoccurrence that from the 65th minute onwards, Leeds up the tempo. I'll put my life, the house, the whole lot on that. I'm convinced by that. That seems to be a reoccurrence thing, week in, week out. And the only reason why I used Brighton there was because it would have been, we were all kind of hyping for that game was going to be something that Leeds could probably get something out of it. And we didn't. And it was probably the worst performance I ever seen, if I'm being honest. The first half of yesterday's game, to me, it was probably the best I've seen in the Premier League. I'm being completely honest with you. I thought it was... Yeah, I thought it was...
no, I disagree.
There was a bit of fight.
I think Newcastle were good at Newcastle. Everything we were good. Over the last couple of weeks, by far. But I think the performance yesterday, Dylan, like, it had to be better than what we've seen over the last 2 games. Like, the last 2 games before that were that bad. Like, yesterday had to be some sort of improvement from what we were seeing. So...
Yeah.
It was a lot better. And there was a point yesterday where I was watching the game, Dylan, and I actually just thought to myself, is that, like, the boys actually are digging in here. We're giving as good as we get here, and we just don't have the quality. We just don't have the quality. And, you know, it comes back to the recruitment, it comes back to the manager not getting the best out of the players and playing them in the positions that he should be playing in or their preferred position. So it's not just one straight thing. You can't just pinpoint one thing and say it's Daniel Farke, he's the reason why he's doing this. You have to look at the recruitment. You have to look at the players. It is a collective. There's a lot more issues and a lot more problems, you know, to this than what actually meets the eye, and just solely blaming Daniel Farke. But the book does stop with him.
I can allude to certain things, and I see people saying it in the comments there as well. Okafor, his defending is shocking. He needs to bring that to his game. Brendan Aronson needs to stop playing football. Simple as.
Yeah, harsh, man.
No, I'm not harsh, Darren. I'm sick and tired of it. You have Dan James sitting on the bench.
I know about Brendan Aronson, Dylan, but I think a little bit, it reminds me of Jesse Marsh when he's been absolutely flogged. I think if Leeds were in an Oil Days situation where we got a creative player, a creative winger, if you had the likes of Brendan Aronson coming on, you know, to a game like that where we need to see it out, or we need a little bit of energy, I don't think Leeds United fans would mind seeing Brendan Aronson coming off the bench. We just haven't got the quality to do that, and he's been strung out on the right wing, asked to do a job that he's just not good at doing. He's not creative. He's not good at going forward. He just can't do it in that position. Like, he's a very limited footballer. Don't get me wrong. He's not a horrendous footballer, but he's very, very limited. And there's parts of his game that is good, his tracking back, his tenacity. We love that at Leeds United. We love a hard worker. We can't deny that. But he just hasn't got the quality there, and he doesn't release it quick enough, Dylan. I actually watched the LUFC, Lewis's vlog on it. They're always very good vlogs. I love watching them. And you could see Aronson in it, Dylan, the amount of times. And Elland Road were calling for him, man on, and he's still holding on to the ball, still delaying it as well. I don't want to just go after one player, though, Dylan, because, again, it's a collective. It's a team sport.
Like, even down to Perry as well. Like, I'm at the point now where I'm kind of saying, what did the board see in these players that we bought? And that's Perry included.
Yeah.
We all born out. Like, the money that we've spent on, I'm going to call it, is just pure and utter shit.
Yeah,
like, that's just
no
good whatsoever. You talk about Bial there. Don't get me wrong. Every time that he's came on, he hasn't looked good, and he hasn't really done anything of it. But you're going back to more or less the partnership that we had last season. So what improvement have we done?
You're hoping Bial comes in for 15 million. You're hoping that he comes in and he's going to be some sort of improvement on Pascal Stroke, and he's yet to see that. You're hoping Lucas Perry is going to come in and be a better improvement than, I was going to say Meslier. He's definitely improvement on Meslier, but you're hoping he's going to be improvement on Carl Darlow, and arguably Carl Darlow has put in better performances than Lucas Perry has to date. So there's still time for him to prove himself. But a lot of the recruitment, Dylan, that I look at, and it just feels not good enough. It feels very much 2023 under Jesse Marsh, where we got a lot of it wrong. And that's what it feels like now at the minute. Now, there's still time for these players to turn it around and show a little bit. But at the moment, I agree with you. I think our recruitment... We'll try and get back to the match, Dylan, because I don't want to talk too much about the recruitment, because we all know the situation with that. Let's get into a couple of the comments. Richard Hogan says, does Okafor do enough to help Gabby? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. I think, he does see Malin too late. He's asked to cover Ampadu, but he doesn't do enough to stop the cross from me there, Richard. He has to be doing better. There's one thing, I was a fullback. There's one thing I always taught as a fullback is don't let him get the cross. Always shimmy him back down the line. Don't let him get the cross. It's far too easy from Leeds United letting the ball come into the box like that. Richard Hogan says Ampadu should cut that out. He should, buddy. Absolutely. I think so as well. I think Ampadu was a massive part to play in that goal. One, losing Malin, and two, then not cutting the cross out into the box. In fairness, Bogle tracks the runner, but Ampadu should anticipate the cross, get in front of the Rodgers. Yeah, I agree with that as well. And Stroke was there as well, caught flat-footed as well, not doing enough to try and stop the ball coming into the box. So it's poor. And it's a collective, lads. There's not one that you can single out. It is a team game. It is a collective, and it's just not good enough as a collective at the minute. It's like they don't know where to be defensively. What is our defensive shape when we lose the ball and they're attacking us? And we have another slide to go forward here as well, leading up to the second goal, the free kick, and it proves it as well that we just see him all over the place at the minute in transition. Darren, the first game of the season, we started Dan James and Nanto, brought Aronson and Harrison on. That's what we should be doing. I believe that as well, buddy. Look, do I want Jack Harrison and Brendan Aronson coming on for Leeds United? No, I don't. That's hand on heart. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're good enough, but we're in the position we're in. But you need to be starting Dan James and Willie Nanto. But do I mind Brendan Aronson coming on to give you that little bit of work rate? No, I don't. If you're looking for quality, he's not the man. He's not the man. I think Aronson gets more flack than he deserves. At times, I think he does as well, Michael. But it's the quality. It's a quality issue.
Can I just say, like, I know, like, not just people that are watching, like, you go back to Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and there's a lot of people that are slating Aronson, and there's a lot of people that are defending Aronson. The problem is with the Aronson situation, and I'm one of them that's more slating him, but not in a personal kind of term. Simply, he's lacking that bit of quality. He doesn't give you what a winger should give you. He just does the running around aspect of it. If a player is playing so bad, we'll use Jack Harrison as an example. Gives away a penalty, he hasn't played. Yeah. He's simply not good enough, right? Jacoby all plays 2 shit games. He doesn't play. Simple as. So what happens when a player is being overrun, i.e. Brendan Aronson, and we're all here stating him out? I think Daniel Farke could take that as a maybe I should take the limelight out of him.
It's the same. That's what I said. It's the same at Marshall. He's being flogged at the minute, and the mental health issues that Daniel Farke came out with as well yesterday, lads. To be honest with you, lads, I think it's disgraceful from what he's saying about Brendan Aronson's mental health. The stuff that Daniel Farke has done on some of these players in this team, Ramazani, Patrick Bamford for one as well. I know we all thought of Patrick Bamford, but coming back into pre-season, to drop him the way that he done it, like to speak about someone's mental health, I just think was poor. It was a poor excuse from Daniel Farke yesterday.
He's coming out. It's just he's not making himself look good.
To dig that fire down to excuses, I think it was unacceptable for me yesterday. Arthur says Aronson unfair to keep picking on him. Unbelievable. I think so as well, but it's not all down to him. But again, it's just there's always going to be a scapegoat, isn't there, in the Leeds United fan base, and it changes from week to week. One week it's Stroud, one week it's Ampadu, next week it's Aronson. It's always going to be the same, buddy.
You give him a plaudit though, Darren, because you go back to West Ham and I said it. I think it was 3 or 4 games in a row. He played phenomenal, and I gave him his plaudits. It's down to Farke. It's not Aronson.
Yeah,
mental health or not, we can't use that as an excuse just to keep playing him. If that's the case, like I could turn around and say my mental health's acting up. I need to play professional football.
Leeds United are bad for my mental health. Tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Planet Leeds says Adam Underwood needs to write a book, How to Manage to Spend 100 million and Not Improve. The more time that passes, the worse it's looking. Yeah, 100 million spent, and yeah, not much to show for it. Not much to show for it. You're right, bros. You just can't pull the blame on Daniel Farke. The football recruiter team and the owners are to blame too. Absolutely, they're not dissolved of all blame, and neither are the players as well, Michael. The players have to look at themselves in the mirror as well, because the basic things of tracking your runner, running after your man, putting a little bit of heart into the game. Daniel Farke can't instill that in them either. Do you know what I mean? They need to have that little bit of bite in them as well. So it's the whole lot. The whole lot stinks at the minute. Stack has played out of position, remember, yeah. So he's brought in as a sixth and he's playing as a left-sided midfielder. So he's brought in, you know, what was he? 17 million, I think Anton Stack was to be played out of his position. I was a keeper, I think, is it? And if I had that much space on a free kick like Perry, I'd retire. Yeah, I think so. It's poor. We are going to get into the free kick now as well, lads. Absolutely, we are. Rather kept last season team with than these new players as well. Yeah, possibly that's a show. That's
a show.
Michael says here on DF, before the season started, when he was at Norwich in the Prem, he wasn't backed. That's why he failed. Looks like it's happening again. That is an indication, and maybe DF just isn't a Prem manager. Look, that's all you can do is go off the statistics, and that kind of proves it, Michael. And we have a bit of a graph here towards the end of the show about Daniel Farke that proves that as well, that his Premier League record just simply isn't good enough, unfortunately. And it's sad. Like, I don't want to sit here and talk about the manager like this. I wanted Daniel Farke to prove everyone wrong. Before the Forest game, I was pro Daniel Farke, wanted him to do well, prove everyone wrong. But unfortunately, it's just becoming the undefendable now. The same things week after week, and we all know it. We all see it. Michael says here, Aronson works hard, runs around a lot, but is not a good footballer. He was bad in the Championship, guys. He got away with it. And arguably, look at Joe Gelhardt. Look at the bits that he's doing for Hull. You know, you could arguably say that he could have played that number 10 position for Leeds United last season. DB4 LUFC says, evening, lads. Evening, buddy. Thanks for popping in. Dillo, you were going to say something there?
No, I was just saying I agree.
Yeah. From my last comment, it was just pulling it out and playing the devil's advocate. No, you're right. This is what it's all about, though. Good, healthy debate. This is a good, healthy, respectful debate, Michael. This is what it's all about. It's okay to disagree with each other. It's absolutely fine. No opinion is wrong. That's what way I see it as well. Darlow will be first choice by January. Yeah, there certainly is a conversation starting to creep in, DB4. I don't know if we're quite there just yet, but there is a conversation starting to come up now about Carl Darlow, and that we looked better with Carl Darlow and Nets anyway at the moment. So, yeah.
I think he has to play Perry because he knows the slack that he's going to get, considering, you know, the money that we spent on Perry. And like, I wasn't having a dig there at the DF4 LUFC. It's ridiculous to have this conversation considering the money that we spent. Why can't we don't have a number one keeper in the Premier League? He
has made some fantastic saves, Dylan. When you look back, he made a cracking save against Jarrett Bowen against West Ham, the overhead kick, brilliant save. The double save down at Forest, he's done that as well. But it's just his kicking, Dylan. I'm not sitting here saying he's a horrendous goalkeeper. For me, he's definitely better than Meslier, but he just doesn't give me that comfort the way Carl Darlow does. I'm comfortable with Carl Darlow and nets. It makes me feel safe. Where Perry just doesn't fully give that to me.
No, he doesn't. He gives you the keeping.
And then when the ball goes back to Perry as well, and he's kicking, he has this weird sort of sandwich foot where when he's kicking the ball out, he's scooping under it and it's going up in the air and nearly coming back to him. So his kicking is particularly poor for a side that wants to go a little bit more direct. He hasn't really got it either. So it is a worry. And again, this is where you look to the recruitment side of things, and Daniel Farke possibly signing off on these players. Is that why are we going for these players? And, you know, not playing to their strengths in the way they should be playing. And let's move on then to the lead up of the goal, then the free kick goal. We will get into this one as well. So obviously it was a long ball punt forward. So very similar situation what we've seen against Forest. Forest where we're trying that diagonal ball to hit Gabby Goodmunson in behind. And this is where I think teams are really starting to pinpoint Leeds United. Gabby Goodmunson, I do have to say, is really good going forward. He's a really good outlet, but defensively, I do have a little bit of question marks at Gabby Goodmunson. He's susceptible to these sort of mistakes. So he slips over the ball there. He gets his leg in a tangle, an absolute mess. The other issue here when I look at it is that you see a 3v3, so 3 Leeds United players against 3 Aston Villa players, nearly outside, 20 yards outside the Leeds United goal. For me, that's questionable as well, Dylan. Gabby obviously slips over. It's an unfortunate mistake. And then Strouk has to make a decision. Ross Barkley is barging through. And Strouk has to take him down. He's a split-second decision. Do I slide in or try and hassle and harry him? He ends up taking him down. And it's a free kick then to them. But Dylan, Gabby, I want to talk a little bit about Gabby because, again, he's a player that just parts from him that I really like. Looks really good for Leeds United going forward. Looks like he has it. But defensively, again, there is some questions starting to... For me anyway, about Gabby.
Falls over his feet an awful lot, and he's definitely probably top 3 of the signings that we've got. Like, I've really liked Gabby. His freak accident, obviously, at Fulham. It's like it's an awareness, or he panics on the ball. I don't know what he's doing at times in the defence. But as you said there, going forward, it's great, and it's not really a good outlet if he's not great on the track and back aspect of it. Because Okafor's not going to get him out of a hole because he's too lazy. So you're kind of screwed on the left-hand side when it comes to the defensive awareness sort of stuff. But, at times I feel like he's getting stretched an awful lot. I don't know if maybe that's just me. At times, actually DV4 has there. He gives the wingers way too much space. I think he does too as well. I don't really know because is he an upgrade to Junior Firpo? That's the question.
I think so, though. Because
Because
Firpo was fantastic in the Championship. We can only go off Premier League Firpo. Premier League Firpo wasn't great. I do think Gabby can be coached over him. He can improve absolutely. I do think he's a little bit more about him an all round footballer, but there is question marks about him defensively. I think a little bit.
Even to try and go for that ball, and he had the reason to go for it, but he just falls over himself, and that's 2 errors now he's had to make to lead to a goal. Yes, Strouk had to make it a quick decision whether to take the man down or let him go on with it. But that's 2 now from Goodmunson. It's not good enough. It's not good enough in the space of 4 games, and the difference. People make mistakes, I get that, but we keep making the same mistakes. We obviously go back to the defensive side of it. We're not watching the runners, and they're running up the wing, and they're basically passing it across the box, and it's getting topped in or flicked in. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
With Gabby as well, I think he done a mad run yesterday, remember? Another galloping run, and yet again we're getting nothing out of it. So you could kind of be okay with the fact if he does make an error, but he done it all right down the other end, you'd say fair enough. But just seems to be we're not getting anything at all, whether it's on the defensive side.
There's a lot of goals still starting to come from that left hand side. And there's one thing I do have to give Farke in his post match yesterday is that he did say we are conceding a lot of goals from the left hand side, and it's a blind person could see it that Leeds United's left hand side for whatever reason looks very, very fragile, and whether it's not there's enough support that Okafor is giving Gabby, whether it's Gabby's not good enough defending wise, I'm not too sure. We definitely need a better sample to kind of make an evaluation on it for me. But it's really bad down that left hand side, and that seems to be where teams are starting to pinpoint Leeds United's weakness. They're starting to do that switch of play, that long ball in over the top to try and get in behind Goodmunson. So it's definitely something that we need to scrub up on, absolutely, because teams are starting to find that as an issue now.
I was going to say, maybe just before we get into this, you talked about it a couple of weeks ago about Bogle playing on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Why can't we push Gabby up or put James Justin on at left back? With that Premier League experience as well. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know, like, and we can say revert to, 5-3-2, 4-4-2, whatever you want, but just Daniel Farke's just not going to do it, Dylan. So we can talk about changing personnel, but for me, the man is he's too stubborn, and we're seeing the same sort of things this season of playing the same personnel and sticking with them, even though that they're not doing the job. Exactly like with Melier last year. He persisted and persisted and persisted with it. He literally couldn't do it anymore. And that's what I feel like this same route that Daniel Farke is going down as well. He's a very, very stubborn manager. Let's get into the second goal then, Dylan, the free kick here. So just there is a video doing the rounds here of behind in the south stand. I think it's in the boxes. And it looks bad and looks really bad on Joe Rodon. He said that he didn't jump. But if you actually see from the still, Joe Rodon did actually jump for the ball, but you can see the wall is completely off. For me, and at the time when I seen it on Sky, Dylan, as well, it just looked like he had the whole side of the goal to aim to, didn't it? It just looked it just seemed like for all the world he was going to go to Perry's left-hand side. So Joe Rodon does jump in the wall, but for me, I think he jumps a little bit too early, Dylan. As you see from the next slide, as the ball gets to him, he's already on his way down and the rest are going up. So I think Rodon actually jumps too early. He does jump it too early. Look at Dylan, we can't take it away from it. It's a fantastic free kick. The knuckleball, that close. You're talking about 19 yards out to get that ball up and down and into the back of the net at that power is unbelievable. So the wall setup, Dylan, I think was wrong, but we have to talk about Lucas Perry. Should he be doing better there?
Yes. I said it yesterday on the match reaction. And the more that I watched the back, I slowed it down in slow motion on YouTube. I sped it up. Firstly, you can't take away the goal. It was a great free kick, 100%. His position is atrocious, number one. And then, as the commentator said it, and I said it yesterday in the reaction as well, he didn't smash it. He caressed it. He placed it, and he just hit it. It was a great finish. It wasn't directly in the corner. It was more central. So, at least, don't get me wrong, you might have stopped it. But he has to make an effort. And because he's standing there, it makes it look a lot worse. And I'm telling you now, if you go back and watch it yourselves, slow it down, you could see he makes eye contact with the ball and he's not asked to move. And as people are saying there, his position was absolutely shocking. And this is bringing me back to the question.
This is what I'm looking at as well. Look, I'm trying to look at it. Never was a goalkeeper, but I'm trying to get into a goalkeeper's frame of mind. The wall for me, Dylan, just didn't look right from the setup yesterday. Before Rodgers even hit the ball, it just looked for all the world he was going to go to Perry's left-hand side. It looked like he had acres of space on that side. And again, I was going to question, is it from the camera angle at Elland Road on Sky? Is it looking like that? And when he hit it, it just looked so obvious he was going to that side. But Perry was doing this weird thing yesterday, and keepers, well, from my understanding, keepers always taught to make themselves big, spread yourself wide, hands out. He was like crouching down, like making himself real small, before the free kick was hit. And I don't understand it. And hopefully there's some keepers in the chat there that can kind of tell us the reason behind it. But it was just,
not make yourself big as possible, like in the net.
I would say so too. I would say so as a goalkeeper in that situation you want. But I personally think he should be doing a little bit better. I think it's not directly down the middle, but it is very central, so he should be covering that area. If it's into the top corner, into the top bins, you're turning around going, wow, unbelievable. It's still a cracking free kick, but I think he should be doing a little bit better there in the setup of the wall and probably trying to get a hand to it as well. He doesn't even dive, he just stumbles into the back of the net, so it's poor again.
I'm not a goalkeeper, but what I will say is if you have your wall set up to dominate one side of the net and you're kind of more focused on the other side, well, surely to God, you're going to say to yourself, once he hits this, I'm going left. You're indicating now I need to move into the middle of the goal, more or less, to see if I can get my hand to it. As you said, the goal itself, the shot, was more central, and he didn't even make an attempt. That's what I
I have to laugh at it. The draft shoot I didn't get him fast enough. Aronson was having a little nap on the ground from running around the pitch all the time. Matt Leeds says at this point we give Alex Cairns a go. It's looking likely. I don't know about Darlow. Someone obviously brought it there that Darlow was conceded to a game. I don't know. Darlow just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, I just hope Perry proves us wrong, lads, and maybe a change of manager, a change of system, or something like that might shake it up a little bit. But it's not good at the minute. Dr. Cog says it's Sean Healy's idea. We need someone to blame, don't we? So we'll blame Healy. I'm sick of blaming Farke at this stage now, so we'll just blame Sean Healy. It's all your fault, bully. Set pieces. We have a set piece. Coach Farke takes it upon himself to do this as well, instead of having a specialist. Even at Brentford got one after Andrews took the job as well. Yeah, didn't he speak about this, saying, I think, was it the assistant coach and the worker between all three of them or something like that, but ultimately he has the last say on it. And yeah, I think you're probably right there. I think by the way the game is going nowadays, you probably do need a set piece coach, and how vital set pieces have become in the Premier League over the last probably 12 to 18 months. We've really seen a massive shift in football from that possession kind of base under Pep. It's definitely starting to go a little bit route one, long throws, long free kicks, balls into the box. It definitely is taking that swing again football. So I even think now more than ever, a set piece coach is vital, even more vital than what it has been over the last 10 years. So I agree with you. 100%. Said this when we brought Perry in the summer, was a wrong choice. Saw him play for Leon and terrible. And I actually remember this, Arthur, at the time, and you were in our chat live when we signed Lucas Perry and we broke the chat, and myself and Dylan were very excited about it. And I remember you saying at the time that Perry's a terrible goalkeeper, that we shouldn't have went anywhere near him. And I don't have much experience of the French league, and I did obviously go and do my kind of background checks on him. I thought he was okay, but his handling of the ball, I thought it was really good. I thought his throw outs, I thought we could use that to our advantage a little bit more. We all remember this long throw that we've seen from Lucas Perry. We're saying we could really use that now in the Premier League and transition with Dan James, Okafor, Willie Gnonto at pace to try and break at teams. We haven't even tried that yet. So I think there is parts of Perry's game that we probably should be trying to utilise a little bit more than what we are. And he's definitely not a ball-playing goalkeeper either. A little bit like Joe Hart. Not fantastic with his feet at all. And now he was turning on the players. They'll be the ones to take us out of the hole with a new manager, of course. Yeah, I agree with you, Easy. And I agree with you, pal. I agree with you. For the last 18 months, me and you have been at loggerheads over Daniel Farke, haven't we? And I'm on your side now. I'm definitely Daniel Farke out. But just shows, Dylan, how like opinions evolve, opinions change. That seems to be like this like rhetoric nowadays that, you have an opinion and that's it, and you kind of get banished for it. But
I think it's based on, I'm not disrespecting Easier, I think it's simply based on, you go back to not just Easier, a good few people that do watch the channel as well, to last season about Conor Farke to go out. When you're winning and you're top of the league, you don't want your managers to go. So that's the reason why I'm starting to turn my head. I've been Farke out now for the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. But on the basis of, it's not just Daniel Farke's fault here. It's based on, it's a collective thing. So it's not just like I want Farke on because he's not good enough. I want Farke on because he's not getting results, because the board didn't back him and the players are not doing it for him. That's the reason why I want Farke on.
DB4 says Perry was sketchy in Dublin, didn't like the look of him. Yeah, myself and Dylan said it at the time, and we cut him slack because obviously newly into this side. He didn't look great in Dublin. Questioned him in Dublin. Question his first game, question him against Newcastle, and I'm still questioning him as well, buddy. So yeah, there is question marks over Lucas Perry. Absolutely, there is a conversation to be had with that one. I do think the only set piece is for Farke to be proactive rather than reactive. I agree, Mick. 100% agree with you. Can't agree with you anymore, buddy. The reactiveness is really starting to get on my tits now with Daniel Farke is reacting to. It is though, Dylan. It is, and it's bluntly put, but it's all the time. And opposition managers must be looking at this when they come up against Leeds United, going, lovely. I have a window of about 25 minutes from half time to the 70th minute to make any substitutions I want. I can do whatever I want with this team, and he's not going to make one to the 70th minute and of all this time to do it. Like, it's becoming so predictable now. It's predictable for us, so it's so predictable for opposition managers. Perry, I'm sure about him. I'm not sure. Maybe I think you're meant to say I'm not sure about him. Doesn't look very agile. Maybe too bulky. Darlow has more reflexes. I think so as well. I think so on the what we've seen so far this season. I would say so as well. Evening, lads. Dreading Man City. Haaland is going to have a field day against our lads. Still can't get over the last few games and how Farke is still in. Yeah, I think it is getting to that point as well. I can't even think about City yet, lads, to be honest with you. I haven't got over yesterday, so I can't think about City just yet.
Like, I just want to say, I want Farke on it, make that proven. But if we do sack Farke now, lads, like, the 3 games that we have coming up, it doesn't change anything. You could bring in, Jurgen Klopp, who's just off the top of my head. Yeah, this ain't stopping. Like, if we nick a win here, it doesn't matter. Like, he should have went at the international.
I think this is going to say, Matt, I do want him gone, right? He has to go, right? But I think we just let him have City because we're going to get absolutely
We're going to
mangled
win
either
at
way.
Chelsea and we're going to win at Liverpool.
And then I think you've got 2 home games. I'm thinking against Chelsea and Liverpool. Liverpool aren't in great shape, and I think we might be able to do a job on Chelsea. So maybe get a new manager. So give them the City game and let them say his goodbyes and go out on whatever loss it may be. And then you've 2 home games then for a new manager to come in and try and steady the ship. I think if you start the new manager at City away, like, wow, that's probably the toughest fixture of the whole season that you could change a manager in. Or like, if there's one time I would want to change a manager is coming up against City away in its first, but I do want Farke to go. Maybe sack Farke and then put whatever our Leeds fan ran down the touchline to try and attack him yesterday. Just stick him in charge for the game or something like that.
You know, you actually said it though, Darren, as well, like about Chelsea. You've been calling it a good while. Like, you think Wednesday night under the lights that we can nick a win there, and then obviously I'm saying we're going to win against Liverpool because we're going to it. Yeah, but I mean, like, you just don't know.
You don't know. The 70-minute sub is a joke. Yeah, it's becoming so
70-minute course.
So predictable from Daniel Farke. Fair play, Darren. We're just 2 emotional fans having our say. Exactly, buddy. We're just an emotional fan base. We get too emotional and hot under the collar at times. Darlow will start hopefully against City, and hopefully Farke will listen to the fans and drop Aronson. Highly unlikely. I probably think you will see Brendan Aronson in against Man City because he's going to want workhorses against them rather than any sort of quality. So I think you'll probably see Brendan Aronson start against City. We will score Saturday. How many will City? I don't know. Yeah, 8-1, 7-1, or 8-1 or something like that, buddy. Get Rodgers in. Yeah, I haven't even thought about a new manager. I'm kind of waiting for the club to kind of do it. It's a matter of if not when, and then look at kind of what managers out there. But you would like to think if they're going to do it with Daniel Farke, you would like to think there is some sort of plan, Dylan, to step forward. And I don't want someone just any Joe Soap just to step in. I want a long-term plan. I want a manager to come in with a vision to take us forward. I don't want just this stopgap. Do you know what I mean? Personally, it might be too much to ask, but that's what I would like.
I want a manager that's known and not necessarily, you could say, yeah, proven to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, we keep getting linked to mad managers. I'm not saying Farke wasn't good enough for it, and like that at all, but I'm saying the names that we've been up at. There's serious managers out there looking for jobs, and we need someone that has been in the Premier League. That's what we need.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah,
someone knows
absolutely.
the Premier League.
Right, Dylan, I want to take a little bit of a look at this graph. We can pull it up. Here we go. Wait, let me take that comment out. This is just the last one that I have then of the match. So obviously the DCL one, lads, it was a clear handball. And obviously it would have been an unbelievable goal because obviously Aston Villa fans were singing Leeds are falling apart again. We broke forward, but as you can see there, it's clear as day. It was definitely a handball from the first one there. And then obviously the one they puts it in the back of the net. He tries to plead his place, Dylan. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but it was an absolutely 100% handball, wasn't it?
It was actually, do you know what? Sorry, look, I just have to laugh at it because he goes to the Aston Villa. Well, the ref and the Aston Villa players are standing around, and he's smacking his stomach kind of, and you could just see it by Martinez. I think it was Tielemans, was it? Was the other one?
Yeah, it was Tielemans. Yeah,
they just burst out laughing. To be honest, I had to laugh as well because I'm kind of like, nah, man, like that's blatant, like pure another handball, like so. Yeah, but look, unlucky. Well, you know what we always say, Darren? He's getting in the right positions.
Do you know, like another stride more, like another half a step forward, he hits his midriff and it's 2-2, and it's just such fine lines. Dylan, another one that I want to bring up, and I want you guys in the chat, I want you to get involved in this one as well to let me know if I'm absolutely crazy, am I talking shit, or if I got some sort of normality in me. El Tanaka's substitution, Dylan, frustrated me majorly yesterday when he took him off. I thought he was our best player on the pitch. I thought he gave us some sort of control in midfield. He was driving us up the pitch, kept the ball very well looked after. I thought he was absolutely sensational yesterday. And Daniel Farke decides to take him off. And after he did, I felt like we lost a little bit of control in midfield. We looked a little bit helter-skelter. What did you make of it at the time? And can you understand the substitution?
Based on what I've seen online, I'm not happy with the substitution. First and foremost, because I thought he was probably our best player on the field at that time. I thought he was dictating play really well. He was not stop starting. When he got the ball, he was moving it. He was looking to create chances. And he just looked he looked back to his normal self, Tanaka, and that's what I was delighted with. Not happy with the substitution at all. We're obviously going to get into the reason why certain people in our post and other posts and etc. of why, but I can't make head or tail of it for me. No, I can't.
I'm the same as well, Dylan. I put it up on our X last night saying that it was mind-boggling that the substitution came and loads, it was flooded. It's got like over 100,000 views now and there's loads of debate and it's still rumbling on, but I have a silence now because I couldn't be arsed with it anymore. But a lot of the comments were saying, and it's very mixed, a lot of comments were saying he had to take him off because he was on a yellow card and that he was going to get done for persistent fouling. And the fourth official said to Daniel Farke, the next one, that he's gone, and that's why Daniel Farke made the substitution. That's what he told us in our post-match press conference. Now, I just do not believe that. I'm not convinced by that whatsoever. Since when does a fourth official get involved and dictate what substitutions have to be made? And if I'm an Aston Villa fan or anything to do with Aston Villa, if he said that to Daniel Farke, that he's gone out the next one, so you need to take him off, or whatever way Daniel Farke worded it, why you'd be fuming, because you would want Leeds United to go down to 10 men and to get an advantage on them. Or if the shoe was on the other foot, John McGinn was on the yellow card. If the fourth official said to Unai Emery, next one, he's gone. That's an unfair advantage. Why is he getting involved in that situation? So I know referees will turn around and say, you know, that's your yellow card, next one, you're gone. And that's fine. And I think that's referee to players and that's fine. But when it comes to the fourth official, to the managers, I don't understand that. At the time when El Tanaka was on a yellow card, with Ethan Ampadu on a yellow card, with Pascal Struijk on a yellow card, and with Jayden Bogle all on a yellow card. Now, El Tanaka, for me, was the only one in midfield that was getting amongst it and up and at it. Our captain wasn't doing anywhere near as much as what El Tanaka was. So how can you go off the basis of probability that El Tanaka might get sent off? Now, when I look at El Tanaka, my opinion of him is that he's not one of them robust midfielders like your Roy Keane, Gattuso, Patrick Vieira, where he goes flying into tackles and chopping people down. If he was, you would say fair enough. If he was having a bad game, you would say fair enough. He wasn't. But who was to say that Ethan Ampadu didn't go on in that game and take down Malin when he was going through, take down Rodgers when he was going through, and pick up a second yellow and get booked? One more yellow card for Ethan Ampadu and he's going to miss the Chelsea game. And I guarantee you, Ethan Ampadu does get a yellow card against Man City. So what do we do? Just not play them. So I just can't go along with this rhetoric that he might have got a yellow card. He was our best player on the pitch. So for me, it's poor management from Daniel Farke. If, and this is if, the fourth official said to Daniel Farke that if one more, he's gone. That's up to Daniel Farke and his man management, which he hasn't got, to call out Tanaka over and say, you're treading a tight line here. Any 50-50s, you pull out. I want you to keep the ball because you're driving us up the pitch here. Yeah. To turn around and bottle it because of the fourth official said one more tackle, he's gone off the bottle and take him off, for me, is all the signs in the world. I don't know if I'm mad. Just an opinion.
No, Darren, I'm 100% with you, because the way that it looks to me is we are fighting, we're in the bottom three. We're not winning games. We're not playing great. And we have a fourth official managing Leeds United. Yeah. That's simply what this has done here. What's the point of having Daniel Farke in this team as a manager if you're not willing to take risks? He doesn't seem to take them. If a player is injured, use Daniel James as an example, coming off for charity minutes. Oh, we can't really risk him. What do you mean you can't risk him? Certain things you have to take risks, Daniel. Yeah. So if in-game management where, you know, you could see it's a tight game, they're going to get another goal, we might catch a break, and our best player that's in midfield, who's dictating absolutely everything, and you've just said it there, Struijk on a yellow card, Bogle on a yellow card, Ampadu on a yellow card, and a fourth official decides to go, do you know what, I think you're better off taking him off because the next one he's gone. He's already on a yellow. Yeah, any one of them players that I've just named
could pick up a second yellow.
Exactly. Yeah. So everyone knows that. That's why football is. You get a yellow card. If you do it again, you're getting a red. So for a fourth official to come up with that, to say that to Farke, dictating how we play and who comes on and who plays for Leeds.
The other side of it is as well, Dylan, is that how dejected El Tanaka looked when he came off. And I think he pulled some sort of tape off his wrist and threw it down on the ground and looked visibly annoyed when he came off. And I totally agree with him. But what does this do to El Tanaka's confidence? He was subbed on for Anton Stack, having a fantastic game, and he's taken off then on supposedly the thoughts of the fourth official. And he's looking at, well, Ampadu is yellow card. Now, to me, if Ampadu and El Tanaka are on yellow cards, if you were to pick one of them that's going to get sent off for silly tackles, I'd be picking Ethan Ampadu all day, not El Tanaka. So for me, it's poor man management, and turn around and say that the fourth official said that. And I guarantee you, if Leeds had went on to win that game or get an equaliser, he would have turned around and said, I took El Tanaka off because I seen something in the game that might have worked, and it did. And that's what way Daniel Farke would have spun that. But we ultimately lost the game, so he couldn't. So yeah, like that, like it is what it is. Like I'm wound up about it, lads, as you can see and as you can tell. And yeah, I think like a lot of you guys, I think Dillo's gone. Is Dillo frozen? I think he is. McGinn was the referee, he says, in the year all game. And do you know what? He was. Absolutely. Dillo's gone. He absolutely was. And he reffed that game, didn't he, Michael, yesterday? And I think as much as Leeds fans, you would say John McGinn was an absolute melt yesterday. I would love someone like him on our team. I really would, Michael. I'd love a shit house like him, someone that's in the referees here, getting amongst our midfield, in their ears, really putting them off the game. Like, to have a player like we haven't had a player like him, I would say, since Matthias Klick, and it's something that we're really missing, I think, in my opinion. Peter says, cannot see the fourth official giving information to a manager to benefit one team or another. That's it, Peter. That's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand, is how was the fourth official getting involved in that situation? Surely he shouldn't be even opening his mouth there. He should just be bringing the subs on, telling the managers to stay in the touchline box. To turn around and tell Daniel Farke that next one he's gone is mental. Crazy carry on for me. And I'd be fuming if I was an Aston Villa fan or anything to do with them. I'd be absolutely fuming over that. Tanaka is the new Largy, the pet project for Farke, and the pile-on onto a player is proving his authority. I think so as well. And there's a lot of quality players that have came into Leeds, and I think Daniel Farke is really throwing them under the bus and pulling any sort of confidence out of them. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Let's well, we've a bit of good news, a bit of positivity here. 40% off the home shirt. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at this moment of time. I'm getting a lot of emails from the club as well about a lot of promotions and all they're doing as well. Another little graph here that I want to show you guys here that I seen today on Twitter, and I had to share it with you guys. So Daniel Farke has the lowest Premier League points per game ratio of any Leeds manager to have taken charge of 5+ games. So the lowest there, and you can even see some of the names that are ahead of him there. Jesse Marsh, Gracia, even the great Eddie Gray, all above Daniel Farke in the Premier League. So it doesn't make for good reading at all for Daniel Farke at the minute. And I don't know about you guys, but it's a matter of if not when. I hope the 49ers are putting some strategic plans in place to propel Leeds United forward, because when Daniel Farke does go, we absolutely need to get it right. We can't afford, like last time, to get it wrong, for another Gracia to come in, for another Sam Allardyce to come in. It needs to be right. Pascal's was a yellow's top, but he had to do it. I didn't see Bogles. I actually thought Bogles was soft. There was one before Bogles that I thought he was probably borderline booking, but the one he actually got booked for, Scooby, I thought was very soft, to be honest with you. And Tanaka's I thought was actually extremely soft as well. He seemed, okay, we know Robert Jones as Leeds fans. We know every time that he refs Leeds United that he never gives us absolutely anything. So yeah, we're becoming the same with him, aren't we, all the time? He'll be gone around the Liverpool game, says TV4. Yeah, possibly. Myself and Dylan are going to that game. I think he probably will be gone before them. Just to finish off on a bit of a poll we put up on our community tab. Some of you might have seen it. Over 193 people voted on this. So it says, we want to hear from you right now. What's your take on Daniel Farke's future? So 76% have voted Daniel Farke out, 12% undecided, and 11% use absolute crazy people say Daniel Farke in. Dylan, you left us there. What's happening?
I don't know what happened. The hamster just stopped going. Just the internet, you know yourself. It's just, it's crazy. It's just like Leeds, literally up and downs. But yeah, obviously I was continuing to watch you there. The percentage ratio is abysmal. It's disgusting. To allude to that he has a worse record than Jesse Marsh, Garcia. It's mad. You move on there. The 11% there that want them in, I don't know what yous are smoking. But yeah, he needs to go.
Surely someone hit that by accident or something. Like, are mad. I'd love to know whoever that 11% is, to just get their thoughts of why they think he can turn it around. It'd be great to know. But I know but I love debates like that, Dylan. Do you know what I mean? It's always good. If everyone had the same opinion, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? So it's always good to have, someone with a different opinion to get what's their thinking behind it. Danito says, morning, bros. I was up late this morning, still recovering from the game letdown. I was, buddy. You all the way over the other side of the world getting up to watch that again. I do feel for you, buddy. Play Justin, Borneo, Cairns, Nanto, and James on Saturday. Yeah, look, I don't think he's going to do it. I think we're more or less probably going to see the same starting lineup. You might see Nanto come in for Okafor, maybe, but I know a lot of Leeds fans are calling for Brendan Aronson to come out of the team. I just don't think he does it. I would be very, 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 very surprised if he does do it. Darren Dillo, do you think that he gets to the stage where the fans start leaving Elland Road early, leaving huge gaps in the stands if the 49ers don't act? Do you know what Buddy did? I'm actually happy you asked this today, because my brain went wandering on my drive home from work today. And I feel like now it's at the stage where I think the 49ers have to do it now before it gets ugly. before it gets ugly. And I think Daniel Farke's reputation is obviously starting to dwindle a little bit, and what he's done last year is starting to become irrelevant. And I think it gets to the stage where people has to leave before it turns nasty, and that's the point where I'm at now. I think they need to do it now, because I think you lose at City, which is probably, let's be honest, is what's going to happen. You lose to Chelsea, and I think that's what's going to start happening. I don't know if you'll get people leaving, but I think you'll start getting really audible bills, and it'll start to turn nasty, and I just don't think that's good for the football club.
No,
so
it's not. It's meant to be an exciting season being in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I know we're not playing well, I get that at all, but we wanted it so much when we were in the Championship, and it was, it was hard hitting season, and we got here, and obviously, unfortunately, Farke doesn't seem to be the man to do the job, and
yeah,
I wouldn't like to see fans for a club that I love start to leave, and not even so much for the fans. It's more for we got to where we wanted, lads. What did we expect? It's more for the board, to let the board know.
Yeah,
you really you made a mess of this, like.
Yeah,
not so
absolutely.
much on Farke.
DB4 says, Elland Road sounded poor yesterday watching it on TV. I was talking to Stephen Bourne today. He flew back in. Some of you might know Stephen. He's been on our channel a couple of times. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight for this. But he was in Elland Road yesterday, and he said the same thing as well. He said the atmosphere was particularly poor yesterday. And I think we do see Elland Road like that when it gets to nervies and there's a little bit of tension around the place. We do see Elland Road go like that as well. Rusty Tin Can says, apparently the fan jumped out of the stand, ran onto the pitch in the dugout, just wanted to give Farke a Christmas card.
I'm sure he did.
I wanted to give him a CV to be the set piece coach, I would say. Do you know what's mad? He done it. I think he said that he done it at like the 66th, 67th minute to run on and tell Daniel Farke to make a sub. Like, if you had to just wait 3 more minutes, he was going to make the sub anyway. So, do you know what I mean? Like, you could have just waited a few minutes. You know what I mean? And you'd still have your season ticket, and you would be banned from Elland Road and all that sort of stuff for sure. What can you do? Crazy things happen when Leeds United are involved, don't they? Put a new manager in now, no expectations, and he gets to see who is up for the fight. Yeah, I don't think City's the game to do it, buddy. I don't mind if they sack Farke and put Scott Gardner from the under-21s in charge for the City game, but I think a new manager coming in for the City one, I don't know, Dylan, it doesn't feel like any other game in the Premier League away from home. Scum away from home, Liverpool away from home, Arsenal away from home, I would say fine. City away from home, we've seen City thump newly promoted sides 6-7-8-0. For a new manager coming in, I don't think that would be a good start, and you have to pick up a lot of pieces then.
It's going to happen anyway, regardless of who's in charge, let's be honest. If Erling Haaland gets a chance, lads, that's it. Forget about it. The man's an absolute machine. No, I wouldn't be sacking him yet, to be fair. He should. If there was a time for him to go, he should have went at the international break, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the time to do it, Dylan. Danito says, owners are naive. Recruitment was very suspect, and game management is so poor. We can't see our games. Yeah, it's always been like that though, hasn't it, with Daniel Farke? And we've had the same sort of questions of him, even in the Championship, and games in the Championship where we dropped points, where we lost games. We were saying the same thing. I remember after Burnley last year at Elland Road when we lost 1-0. It was the same thing that we were saying back then, is that he's very late in making substitutions to try and impact the game. We've seen Burnley were starting to get on top a little bit. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Daniel Farke. I don't think that man is ever going to change. He's set in his ways and doesn't deviate, and that's it, isn't it?
More or less, and that's obviously goes to his interview. If you can't handle the heat sort of thing, the reference that he used,
get out of the kitchen.
Get out of the kitchen. So he's indicating that he's not changing. That's if you can't handle it sort of thing. So I don't know. He's not going to change. We've had this topic. We want to call it an argument, discussions, anything you want to call it, about substitutions, late substitutions, certain players, certain tactics, and he just doesn't change it. So, it'd be great if we could have a proper discussion about it, and it does sound great, all dreams and reality sort of stuff. As Darren said there, lads, it ain't going anywhere. He's too stubborn.
Yeah, it'd be very, very hard. Be very, very hard to see him change. I just don't see it. The football director and Daniel sign off on the players, not the 49ers. They just put the money in. Yeah, but they have to be accountable. They're the owners. But you're 100% right there, Michael, with that. Massive look to Adam Underwood. And we've seen Rangers today, who obviously 49ers owned the majority stake in up in Glasgow. They sacked the head of recruitment and their sporting director. They sacked them today. So that's obviously Prag Marate is the co-chairman up there, or is he the deputy chairman or something like that up there in Rangers? I don't know what he is, to be honest with you, but I don't know whether the Rangers side of things are taking their eye off the ball of what's happening at Leeds at the minute. Just when you see them making changes up there and trying to put all the things in place, and It feels like Leeds United are getting left behind a little bit. That's the problem, I think, for me with this multi-club model, and your owners owning another club as well. I don't agree with it. I don't think that should be allowed to happen anywhere in world football, personally.
I agree.
The 49ers look more interested in Rangers than us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just took the words out of my mouth there, Dillo, didn't he? Dillo, have you anything else you would like to say and get off your chest before we put the Aston Villa loss behind us and try and look forward ahead to City at the Etihad next week?
Yeah, just thanks everyone that tuned in as usual. Try and keep the head. It's going to be a tough period, lads, especially coming up to Christmas, and we all have to stick together with whatever manager that is in charge. We're all Leeds fans at the end of the day, ups and downs to the last whistle. So try and keep the head, lads. That's all I can say, and that's coming from me, who is a hothead. Do you know what though? Even the missus said to me, "You said you're like a pot of water simmering. You're ready to blow." And I can't. If I do it, I've lost, and there's just no point.
Yeah, I know. Right, look, lads, we will leave it there for talking points. Thanks very much to everyone that did pop in tonight. All your comments and all tonight. It was absolutely brilliant debate again tonight. But again, Leeds United do lose 3 in a row. We look forward to City next week at the Etihad. And look, let's hope the footballing gods shine down on us like they once did at the Etihad, and Leeds United pull a rabbit out of the hat. So that is it from us, guys. Please make sure you're dropping a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Hit subscribe to the channel. And, of course, get them comments in as well, guys, after this if you're watching it later on, because we want to hear your thoughts as well. So mind yourselves, mind each other. We catch you in the next one.